Today we're making 3 easy tofu recipes you need to make in 2025.
Hey everyone, it's Jasmine.
And Chris.
Welcome back to another video and our first video of 2025.
Happy New Year. We hope
Happy
you had
New
a
Year.
good holiday season and hope your New Year's off to a good start.
We know a lot more people are going to eat plant-based at the start of the year like they do every single year. So we thought it would be helpful to share a video with some of our favorite recipes. And these are not just any recipes, these are tofu recipes because a lot of people struggle with how to properly cook tofu.
All 3 of these recipes are super simple to make and we hope you love them.
So let's get started.
The first recipe we're making today is Me Tofu, which is a riff on Me Chicken, which has been a viral dish on the internet. It basically is supposed to be so good that it makes somebody want to marry the person who made it. No guarantees, of course. We also have a Me pasta recipe on our blog, and this recipe is very similar to that, but it's tofu instead of pasta. The first thing we're gonna do is press our tofu. You can use extra firm or firm tofu here. I'm using firm tofu, but because it's just what we had, but feel free to use what you have or what you prefer. So for this, we're using a tofu press, but if you don't have one, you can just use a stack of books and a towel. Yeah, we have a blog post, we'll link it down below. And we'll also link the tofu press if you want to pick one up, but again, it's not necessary. So we'll just slide our tofu into the tofu press. Make sure it's as centered as possible. If it's not perfect, that's okay. And then we'll just twist it up to apply pressure to the tofu. And we'll just pop this in a bowl. And in about 30 minutes, we'll have our pressed tofu. And while the tofu is pressing, we're also gonna be making a cashew cream. And in order to do that, we're gonna soak some cashews first. So just take some boiling hot water and then soak the cashews for about 30 minutes. This will help them get nice and soft and blend up really smooth. The reason we're making a cashew cream, it's like an alternative to heavy cream. To make our cashew cream, we'll add the soaked cashews along with 2/3 cup of water. We'll blend that up until nice and smooth, and then we'll set that aside to use later. Next, we're gonna make a dredge to coat our tofu with. So we have some all-purpose flour here. We're gonna add that into a medium-sized bowl. And then we have our seasoning blend, which is salt, black pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, and poultry seasoning. And then we'll just mix that up until it's combined. To prepare our tofu, we have a few different options. I'm gonna be cubing my tofu, but you can also cut it into slabs. It's really just preference. Since this is based on a chicken recipe, the slabs might look a little more realistic to that, but if you don't really care, I like cubes because they're bite-sized and a little bit easier to eat. To cook our tofu, we'll take a large skillet, add some dairy-free butter or oil to the pan, and then we'll pan fry our tofu on all sides until it's golden and crispy. This should take about 5 to 10 minutes. You wanna make sure all the sides are cooked as evenly as possible. Once the tofu's finished cooking, we'll remove it from the pan and add it to a paper towel-lined plate. In the same pan as we cook the tofu, we're gonna add a little bit of sun-dried tomato oil and heat that over medium heat. We'll add the shallots and some salt to a pan and we'll cook that for about 4 minutes. Next, we'll add the garlic, paprika, Italian seasoning, and red pepper flakes, and we'll saute that for an extra 1 to 2 minutes. Add the vegan chicken broth, cashew cream, sun-dried tomatoes, and vegan parm. We'll give that a good stir and then we'll bring it to a simmer. Reduce the heat to low and we'll add the tofu back into the pan. Gently mix the sauce and the tofu together to make sure it's evenly coated on all sides. And we'll let the tofu and the sauce simmer together for about 5 to 7 more minutes. We'll finish it off with some freshly chopped parsley and basil. And then you can also season it with a little bit more salt and pepper to taste. In my opinion, it doesn't need any extra salt, but if you do want to add some black pepper, you're welcome to. And now we're ready to eat. We're serving ours over rice, but you can also have it on a sandwich, on bread, pasta. Really, you can serve it however, mashed potatoes, I don't know. You can get crazy, but rice is always a good go-to. Let's dig in. This smells so good. This is very good. Perfect tofu recipe. If you have somebody in your life who doesn't understand tofu and they don't think it's very good, make them this recipe. It'll change their mind.
Or someone you want to marry, maybe.
Yeah, if you want to marry someone, make them this.
I'm going to take a quick moment to give a shout out to our sponsor today, which is Pique Tea and their Radiant Skin Duo, which is a daily ritual that is perfect for energy and hydration, and a great way to start off 2025. The duo includes their BT Fountain, which is their beauty electrolytes, and their Sun Goddess Matcha. They're perfect for glowing skin, for hydration, and for sustained energy. They're both, of course, vegan. They're free from added sugars, any artificial ingredients or additives. The BT Fountain repairs from within. It has clinically proven ceramides as well as hyaluronic acid and minerals. The Sun Goddess Matcha is, of course, ceremonial grade, and it's packed with antioxidants and L-theanine that allows for calm and sustained energy as well as skin clarity. And you know me, I don't drink coffee. I actually only drink matcha. And the reason for that is because matcha has L-theanine, like I mentioned, and L-theanine helps provide energy without the jitters or crashes, and it's just delicious. Pique ensures the highest quality with quadruple toxin screening and bioavailable ingredients. And we actually have a special deal for you with Pique right now. If you use our link, you can get 20% off the Radiant Skin Duo, as well as this really cute frother and this cute little beaker. So head to the link in our description box, check out Pique Tea, and let's get back into the tofu recipes. The next recipe we're making is a sticky sesame tofu. I love anything sticky. Turn it off. I don't know. I realized, like, what do I? God. The next recipe we're making is a sticky sesame tofu, and with this we also start with a block of firm or extra firm tofu, and we pressed it just like we did earlier. I don't think we need to show that again, but this tofu is nice and pressed, so now I'm gonna cut it into cubes. I'm gonna transfer that cube tofu into a large bowl, and then to that I'm adding in some olive oil. I'm gonna gently toss that together, and now I'm gonna add in some cornstarch along with some salt and garlic powder. And again, just toss that until everything is well coated. I'm gonna use the spatula one more time just to give it a nudge, but once you add the cornstarch and the spices, it's much easier to toss. I'm gonna transfer this to a baking sheet, and we're just gonna pop it into the oven to bake for like 30 minutes. So as that bakes, I'm gonna prep our sauce. So we have some soy sauce along with maple syrup, some rice vinegar, some minced garlic, and red pepper flakes. I'm just gonna mix that together until it's nice and uniform and set that aside. And then I'm also making a cornstarch slurry, which is gonna help thicken the sauce later. That's just some cornstarch and some water. We're gonna mix that together as well and set that aside. I just pulled this out of the oven. It is nice and crispy. You can hear the sizzle. And we're going to continue on at the stove to add some sauce to this. To a medium skillet, I'm gonna add that sauce we prepped earlier and allow that to come to a simmer. Then I'm gonna mix through that cornstarch slurry and let it simmer again and let it become nice and thick. And then I'm gonna pour in the crispy tofu. All you have to do is just evenly coat this in the sauce, and then I'm gonna top it with some toasted sesame seeds and sesame oil, as well as some green onions. Let's do a taste test for you guys. That's excellent. We serve this over rice. I don't know what else you would serve this over. I was gonna say cause earlier, like sandwiches. Maybe you could do a sandwich.
I love how earlier I said
sandwiches, bread. I thought it too. It happened. All right, I'm gonna eat this whole bowl, and I'll see you in a sec for the next recipe. Okay. All right, our last recipe, we are making a tofu musubi bake. I have been seeing sushi bakes all over TikTok, and I wanted to make a vegan one. And we had a tofu musubi recipe, and I thought this would be perfect. So I'm gonna show you how to make it. It is very delicious. We've made it several times already, and I'm excited to make it again. So we press this block of tofu. Let me just pop it out real quick. You can use firm or extra firm tofu. I mentioned that earlier for all the recipes. This one is firm. Let me grab.
It's extra firm.
Is it? Oh, this one's extra firm. So for this recipe, I'm gonna dice these into small cubes. I'm gonna cut the tofu into like 2 pieces first because I have a really hard time making it uniform if it's too big. The first time we made this, they were triangles, they were a little cute. It was a mess, so I'm gonna try to do it my best for you. Okay, the tofu is diced, did my best, it's pretty good. And now I'm gonna make the sauce really quick before we get to the stove. So for the sauce, we have some soy sauce, brown sugar, some cut up garlic and ginger, some mirin, agave, you can also use maple syrup if you'd like, and some liquid smoke. I'm gonna heat some oil in a large pan over medium heat, and once that's hot, I'm gonna add in my tofu, and I'm just gonna cook that, mixing often until it's nice and crispy. And then I'm gonna pour it in the sauce and cook that for about 5 minutes until the sauce thickens, the tofu absorbs all that flavor, and it kind of looks like Spam. I also cooked up some sushi rice, and to that we're gonna add a mixture of rice vinegar and sugar. You just have to add that to a small bowl and microwave it for about 45 seconds or until the sugar dissolves, and then we're just gonna mix that through. I'm gonna transfer that seasoned sushi rice into a baking dish. This is an 8x8 dish. I'm just gonna press it down nice and flat, and then I'm sprinkling it over with some furikake. We bought this at the store, but you can also make your own. It's really easy. Then we're going to pour over that cooked tofu, spread it out to an even layer, and we're drizzling it with some vegan Kewpie mayo. A vegan one does exist, but you have to order it online, or at least in our area, we can't find it, but a vegan one does exist, which is so exciting. I will link this down below for you. Now, all you have to do is broil this for about 5 minutes. It may depend on your oven, so just keep an eye on it so it doesn't burn. But I'm gonna pop it into broil, and then we're going to dig in. Once it was nice and bubbly, we topped it with some sliced avocado, some more furikake, and some green onions. You can eat this like we are right now with a spoon or a fork. You can take spoonfuls, put it in nori, eat that up. You can just do it on your plate.
Put it in a burrito.
I don't know. There's like so many things you could do.
That's so good.
It's so freaking good. I'm ready. You can also double the rice if you want more rice, if you want it a lot thicker. We did that the first time we tried it, and it was good, but I think it just depends.
It was too much rice, I think.
Who's eating it?
And I never thought I would ever say that. I love how the mayo gets so melty.
We ate so much tofu today. My boobs are gonna be like this tomorrow.
Me too.
We're just kidding, it doesn't happen. I hope you enjoyed hanging with us today, learning how to make all these tofu recipes, and I hope you can try them all out.
As always, all of the recipes are linked down below. We have them all on our blog with detailed instructions. So if you do care to make them, we hope you love them. And comment down below, let us know which one you're looking forward to trying the most.
We also have a ton of other tofu recipes and tofu videos that I can link down below as well in case you want more tofu in your life. Make sure you check out Pique Tea. Thank you to them again for sponsoring today's video. And I think that's it for today.
Yeah, we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.